Hi everyone. Today I have a very important topic and where most of the AI developers have confusion. Is MCP dead or MCP is a future? Today in this session I will show you some facts where you can understand or you can build your knowledge about the MCP uses. Let's try to understand what what is the truth. Is this right or this is not right? MCP is dead or MCP is the future of AI agent. So in the today's session we will decode this statement, right? So let's try to see the real picture, what exactly the reality, because you have seen probably many places or many, like on the media, on the news, that people are saying MCP is dead. Let's see the reality of it, isn't it? Agenda for today video would be we try to understand why MCP become popular, why developers pushed back, and the real token consumption problem, when you should or you should not use MCP. This is important thing because if you heard that MCP will add the value to you and you can enable this with the agent and people start using it. But we must think, being a architect level or being a senior, you must have clarity what is benefit and what are drawbacks of any things which comes in the market. So I completely try to decode those things. How? Let's see this. What problem was MCP trying to solve? The MCP, before MCP, every AI model needs custom integration with every external tool. This means this become X into X matrix. Let's say as soon as AI models increasing, systems increasing, this become a cross multiplication, right? So as models are growth, integration will grow exponentially. It's very difficult being a developer to handle those things. Then this was the problem the MCP trying to solve. And how MCP solved this problem? So the MCP promised a solution as an USB-C adapter. So what you can see here in this image, USB-C adapter. Let's say before we don't have USB-C adapter port in our laptop, then probably you need several ports for different appliance. Once USB-C port is there, so majority of appliances which you can connect with your laptop are compatible with USB-C adapter. This is the terminology, this is the methodology solved by MCP. When MCP comes, it says, okay, you are building MCP server, so let's follow this protocol. So whether MCP server built by anyone, they should follow JSON RPC protocol, and then you will connect that server to your MCP client, and that all over the thought process behind the MCP or whole concept of MCP turn around this way as a USB-C adapter. This was the really big change. So it says instead of building integration for every combination, system would expose MCP server and AI client could interact through a common protocol. That's a very common. Yeah? In this way, you don't need to build a cross multiplication. So that problem really resolved by MCP. Nowadays, let's say if you have your client AI agent and you want to use the MCP server, it's pretty easy. It's really so easy to configure, uh, let's say MCP server with your AI agent. That's really very easy. How it's become easy? Through MCP. That was the promised solution for MCP. But whenever things comes in the market and then people start using it, but we also understand the limitations and the drawbacks probably for the any new ideas which comes in the market. So the thought process behind this in past some years, let's standardize the integration and MCP is there. Let's do that, and people start using it. We start using it. In fact, I also did that, and majority of many people are using this. So you have AI models, and then you have systems. Let's say you have a GitHub, Jira. This is for demonstration purposes. Probably you have lot more MCP servers. So you have client and you have and systems. If this integration start, so the assumption more tools smart agent. Let's say you have AI agent and it's connect with the Jira, it's connect with the Salesforce, connect with the GitHub, connect with any others, Playwright. So many MCP servers you connected to your agent, and you thought your agent become smart. That's no doubt at all. Your agent is really smart, but there's another drawback that was hidden behind it. You provide the capabilities to your agent, but the behind the scene there is something different. That's called token explosion, right? So what was the problem in the token? What's the issue with the token explosion? So try to understand the token problem. My requirement is simple. My requirement is create a PR for my latest commit, right? That I can achieve with the help of direct tool calling, because the available tool is, let's say, create a pull request. And try to understand this token economics. This is illustration only. So here you can see user request. The user request is create a pull request, right? For my latest comment that may consume 10 tokens. Tool definition could have 100 tokens. Reasoning, it's reasoning and execution. Overall, the token consumption for direct tool calling would be, let me see. Okay, the direct tool calling would be how much? 230, right? That's approximately idea. Don't try to make it fix. It is not fixed. It may 230, it may be 400, maybe 500. That's an approximate idea. So the actual user may vary model to model, tool schema, serialization, implementation. That's the illustration model, right? So this is the theory for direct tool calling. If you know the tool, if you call it directly, you integrate that tool with your AI agent, then your token use is comparatively very small. Okay. Another option is your requirement remains same. The another option is a small MCP. Whether rather using whole MCP, big MCP server, if we have wrapper on top of it and create a small MCP, then that available tools would be, let's say, two tools are available over there. Okay, two tools is create pull request and list pull request. Fine, and this way your user So with two tools, the token consumption is still reasonable, and the overall token consumption become 330. Because here, what change is here? The change is only that we have two tools, so the token consumption would be increased. It's just double 100 to 200, right? But it still remains reasonable. How it's reasonable? The idea is because we have two tools. Okay, the next thing is, think about now you expose big MCP server, means MCP server for GitHub. I would not say GitHub MCP server is wrong. Please ensure this. It's not wrong. They offer almost all solutions for you. It's up to you how you would like to use in your AI agent. Your intent is same. create a PR for my latest commit. And now it's if you use MCP server for GitHub, then user request that is still same. You can see over here that user request is still same, right? What change? The change is now tool definition, because this GitHub MCP server expose around about hundreds of tools. Then the tool schema increase, right? So when you raise a request or raise a prompt to your agent, then agent will check the definition of all available tools, and then LLM will recognize what tool need to be called for to fulfill your requirement. That is the main demand, right? Here, actual problem start. You can see the token explosion come from exposing too many tools. There is no problem at all in the MCP server. The major concerns I would like to explain to you, the major problem was how we understand it, isn't it? How we use that. So we use GitHub example. This is example only. Let's say GitHub MCP server for creating a pull request from my latest commit, and now the actual token consumption would be round about 12,000. Can you see? It is round about 12,000. If you go back, can you see? If you are directly calling tool, then your token consumption would be approx 200 or 300, and where you call big MCP server to fulfill your small demand, your token consumption is really high. So this is called token explosion. So token explosion is comes due to large number of tools which are available in the MCP server. Now the question is MCP the problem? Maybe you have those feelings, or who already have some ideas who built MCP server. Maybe guys, you have this question: is MCP the problem? Because that's, I would say that's not correct news that's nowadays circulated on media. That was the bigger reason I recorded this video, but I would like to give you the clarity, transparency, what is the benefit and what's a drawback. It's overall architectural decision, it's not a problem in the MCP. See, people are saying MCP consumes too many tokens. Is this truth? What is your take on it? What do you think? Is MCP really consuming too many tokens? Let's understand this. The more accurate statement is exposing too many MCP tool consumes too many tokens. Yes, because it is up to you how you like to utilize. The protocol itself isn't inherently insufficient, but poor architectural decisions are. If your architectural decisions are not properly analyzed, then you may have this problem which called token explosion. You may pay more cost for utilizing small things. How you can control that? Yeah, how we can prevent token explosion? So I created some draft over here, uh, for which is, I think, which is really useful for you guys if you consider those things. Let's say you have AI agent and you are connecting MCP server through MCP client, and then on MCP server you must have tool filter, pagination, output limit, validation, authorization, rate limit, and timeout. Those things are really, really important, guys. In if you follow those patterns, you can prevent. I would not say you will remove it. I would say you prevent token explosion problem. Let's see. I created more slides for your understanding. So The nutshell is, don't expose everything. Expose what the agent actually needs. If you need a small portion, then expose that portion from MCP server rather exposing everything. Yeah. This is architectural decision. There are some safeguards that I created. Control tool exposure. So I know you have most of the tools, large number of tools available in your MCP server. It's up to you how you want to expose, how you want to use those. So this is tool controlling exposure. I need PR agent, then probably I will say get letters, commit, create pull requests, get pull request. That's all. Maybe one or two more tools, not completely discovering 100 plus tools or 80 plus tools, isn't it? Tool relevance greater than tool quantity. Yes, you should not be in that order. Let's say if you have more tools than your MCP server or your agent are more capable, I think you should focus on it. Tool relevancy. Is this tool relevant to your demand or not? If the tool is not relevant to your demand, doesn't make sense. You have a book for thousands of pages, but for your problem, the solution was written on the page number 10. Do you need to read the page number 10 or will you read the whole book for 1,000 pages? That's the intelligent solution you can build it. That's why tool relevance is important than tool quantity. Another thing is how you can control output. That's another thing. Right now, let's say if you have MCP server and then you're calling a tool that's called database, or it may call the API, and then your API returns 10,000, 1 lakh of records. Will you send everything to LLM? That could be another problem. Can you see here? Only count of tool is a one problem. The another issue can be if you are not controlling the output of your tool, that can create another problem, because if bigger output shared or sent by your MCP server, that can consume more tokens, because the token count is from input and output both, right? So don't directly send everything to LLM. What you can do over here, you can apply filters, pagination, limits, summary, and then send relevant context to your LLM. If you are following this approach, then I would say huge reduction you can maintain in token consumption. That's up to you how you want. The first one is pretty simple. Call database API, call API database, whatever it is, and then whatever records come directly sent to LLM. LLM will hand over to LLM, and large language model will handle this on behalf of you. Definitely, large language model is enough capable to handle your records, but it will consume cost. The cost would be beared by company. So you should think about the optimized solution. How you can create an optimized solution. So while you're building MCP server, please focus on filter, pagination, limit, summaries, and then relevant content. These are the some of things I shown here. I have more for you. This will give you one clarity. Don't let tool flood the model with data. Yes, you should control it. And if you are sending a relevant context to your model, then probably you have a better output, right? Next, production controlling. Next safeguard number 3, MCP server safeguards. What safeguards you can apply on your MCP server? Input validation. It is called, you guys, I'm sure you everyone understand about SQL injection, isn't it? Here you have prompt injection. You need Output validation is really important. This is just like SQL injection. Okay. Next thing is authorization. Don't accept anonymous requests on your MCP server. Must authorize. Rate limiting. If you want to build your, let's say you have experience with the building REST API, and in every REST API on the production system must have rate limiting. If your API don't have rate limiting, please ask this question to your architect. This is mandatory for your API. Timeout. Don't let it be, you know, execute the commands. Commands must have a specific timeout. Result size limit. You can control this. This is exactly the explanation I shared in previous slide, where you can control output. Send relevant information, summarize information to your model. Pagination must be implemented. Sensitive data filtering. This is security in your MCP server. You should care about it. Logging. You need to know what things called by whom and when it's called. So logging is also another factor for your MCP server. Monitoring. You must have monitoring for your MCP server. Error handling at last. If any errors comes in your MCP server, please, because error would be silent error. It's not calling by any human, it's calling by AI agent. So your errors would be silent. You have to really focus on your error handling when you're building MCP servers, MCP client, or overall AI agent with this infrastructure. Yeah. When should you use MCP? That's the $1 million question to me. While I discussed to architects, I discussed to seniors, developers, team leads, managers. That's the bigger question. People have always, I know MCP, shall I use it? That I think you should consider it. So here I try to present you the reality when you should use the MCP. MCP may be unnecessary when you are building a simple coding assistant or an agent which calls approximately 3 to 5, 10 tools, single purpose application. I would say it's more convenient use direct function calling, because I already record several sessions where I explain how you can build AI agent with tools, custom tools that you can utilize. I would say you should avoid it, but ultimately it's your choice. How would you like to use? But my recommendation for you is you should avoid to using MCP server if you're building a smaller application. When you can consider MCP, let's say you are building multi-agent system, enterprise AI platforms, multi-tenant SaaS products, vendor independent AI ecosystem. Standardization become valuable definitely in that area. So if your scope of your application or AI agent is really bigger, you should consider MCP. Otherwise, you should directly use, because this both options already given to us. Both options already provided, yeah, to us, and this is our choice which we should use. Use MCP when standardization add more value than complexity. I think that's a simple statement. You can refer this statement, right? Please note it down. This statement. I would say thank you very much. I wanted to have more content, but to keep overall presentation regarding MCP smaller, that's my idea. And if you have any question while you are considering, you are thinking, you are planning whether you build your MCP, whether you would like to use MCP, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to support you. I hope this session is worth for you if you are deciding to start using MCP, you're building new MCP server, you wanted to use existing MCP server, whatever it is, I would say that knowledge will definitely give you boost up. It will support you. If you have any question, please feel free to comment on this video. I will happy to answer, yeah, and continue your learning. In next session, we will start with RAG, where we'll talk about industry practices, how to use RAG systems. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, do your practice. Wish you all the best. Thank you.